Let us begin with the next question. What made the peddler finally change his ways? So, it was the young girl's kindness and compassion which made the peddler finally change his ways. Unlike her father, the iron master, she had her doubts of his being a captain from the very beginning. However, when it is revealed to everyone that he is just a poor peddler, the iron master is ready to throw him out of his house. The young girl, however, is compassionate. She persuades her father to let him live there to enjoy the Christmas Eve. The peddler himself is much surprised and wonders what could the crazy idea be. Then all through the day she looks after him as an honored guest. After taking his share of Christmas fish and porridge, he wished good night to everyone. At this time, the young girl told him to keep the suit he was wearing as a Christmas present and to visit them again next Christmas if he so felt. The peddler had then only stared at the young girl with boundless amazement. In his letter, he makes it clear that it was due to these kind acts of her that he had decided to behave in an honorable manner. Now, children, I'll explain you this answer. Listen very carefully. Actually, the question is, what made the peddler finally change his ways? So, children, actually, Edla Wilmenson, who was Edla Wilmenson? She was the daughter of the Iron Master. So, Edla treated the tramp in a friendly manner. She was nice and kind to him, and she interceded on his behalf when her father was about to turn him out. She still entertained the peddler even after knowing the truth about him. She came to know the truth, but she still entertained the peddler. She offered him the suit as Christmas present, and rather she also invited him to spend the next Christmas with him. Children, her love and understanding aroused the essential goodness in the peddler. And finally, he changed his ways. This was the turn in peddler's life, we can say, because Edla was very friendly with him and she treated him with kindness. So the peddler was moved when he saw, when he found, and when he faced that particular expression, we can say, that kindness, because he was not expecting this kind of attitude. It was different for him, because that hospitality, that kindness. So it was like for the peddler it was very touching. Okay, so he is touched by the kindness, care and intervention of Edla, and this made him change his ways. Okay, next question. How does the metaphor of the rat trap serve to highlight the human predicament? Okay, so children, the metaphor of the rat trap serves to highlight the human predicament was very well indeed. The world offers riches and joys, shelter and food, heat and clothing, exactly as the rat trap offers cheese and pork. Metaphor is a comparison. So here he compared the world to a rat trap. Okay, first you write down, then I'll explain. The rats are trapped when they are tempted by these bits of cheese and pork. In the same way, as soon as anyone lets him be tempted by any of the baits offered by the world, the world closes in on him, and then everything comes to an end. This has been illustrated in the story by the example of the rat trap seller. As soon as he was tempted, the 30 kroners of the crofter, his life became difficult. He had to leave the road for the fear of being arrested. He left the road. Okay, first you write. Fear of being arrested. When the ironmaster's daughter lifted his cap from his eyes, he trembled out of fear, as if he had stolen something or had run from the jail. So the metaphor of the rat trap is quite apt. This question is very important, children. Okay, now I'll explain you. Actually, he says that the world entices a person through the various good things of life. The world tempts a person. When we see the good things of life, what are the good things of life, children? Riches and joy, shelter and food, heat and clothing. So they are just like the baits in the rat trap. Once someone is tempted by the bait, the world closed on him. So what happened with the peddler? The peddler, he was tempted by the 30 kroner of the crofter, and it makes him hide himself. He did not opt the road even. He walks through the wood. He is afraid to go to the manor house, and he gets peace only after returning the bait. Bait means money over here. So when he returned that money, then he felt comfort. So this question is very important because the whole story, it is revolving around the rat trap seller and the rat trap. So he compares the world to a rat trap. Now the next question coming up is, the peddler comes out as a person with a great sense of humor. How does this serve in lightening the seriousness of the theme of the story and also endear him to us? So, the peddler comes out as a person with a great sense of humor. There is no doubt that this serves in lightening the seriousness of the theme of the story and also endear him to us. The first instance of it is just in the beginning when he enjoys his dairy ploddings, thinking of the world as a rat trap. It of course pleased his heart that the world which was denied to him was after all not worth having, as it was nothing but a rat trap. After stealing the crofter's money, he left the public highway and lost his way in the forest. Though heartbroken, his sense of humor is alive, as he thinks of himself as the one who has been trapped like a rat. The forest seemed to him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. The peddler provides humor. The peddler provides humor again when he jumps up abruptly and quite frightened. It happens when the ironmaster's daughter lifts up his hat from his eyes. He shows a good sense of humor when the ironmaster threatens to report his case to the sheriff. Instead of being frightened, he strikes the table with a fist. Then he gives his views about the world being a rat trap. Being a rat trap, the ironmaster laughs, an idea of the sheriff dropped. His letter to the ironmaster's daughter again reveals his sense of humor. He calls himself Captain or Stale, who but for the lady's kindness would have remained a rat caught in this world's rat trap. There is no doubt that this sense of humor helps to endear him to us. Now, I'll explain you this answer, children. Actually, in this question, he's asking the question. He says that peddler comes out as a person with a subtle sense of humor, and the theme is serious, so and also endear him to us. So you have to elaborate. We can see that the peddler, he has a subtle sense of humor. How can you make it out? Like, which is revealed during his interaction with the ironmaster and his daughter, after the truth about him becomes known. Children, he is neither afraid of being turned out in cold in rags, nor of being sent to prison. He makes the ironmaster laugh with his metaphor of the rat trap. His letter with a Christmas present to Edla is a fine example of his capacity to make others laugh at him. So we can say he lightens the seriousness of the theme of the story and also endears himself to us. Now we can say, in case if the question comes that the peddlers, we have developed a sympathy, then how is it so? So children, we can say that peddler wins our sympathy for his way of life and how the world treats him. He is an admitted fact that the underdog always runs away with sympathy. So does the peddler with the rat traps. He begs the material like wire for his rat traps. His business not being specially profitable, he resorts to begging and petty thievery to keep body and soul together. So we can say, children, that the life of peddler is sad and monotonous. He plods along the road, lost in his own meditation. So, when the old and lonely crofter met him and treated him with kindness, he was moved, because he was never been treated like that. The nice treatment arouses the tramp's goodness. He redeems himself by returning the stolen money and wins our admiration. Now, children, what you have to do is next is you will go with the meaning of the four words: vagabond, stranger, guest, tramp, and you will write down in your notebook as well.